In America, we have free speech. Unless you say the wrong word. That's free cancellation instead.
Well, you know what, Dwayne? You are a cunt.
Really? Right off the bat? Seriously? Oh!
Hello and welcome to Two Sides of the Pod on the podcast where myself, a Brit, and this chap over here, I don't know why you're not a chap, but this person, this Yank, Dwayne, we talk about all sorts of random stuff, and quite often we debate it poorly. And today we're talking about language and what you can and can't say between our two countries.
Yes, and every time we talk, you call me a Yank. And that is so offensive here.
It's exactly what you are. How is that offensive? It's what you are.
It's considered offensive.
Fucking
Is that
things.
bloke, Muppet? Those are words. All right, maybe not bloke, but Yankee and
say
Muppet
what's wrong with bloke
are the two are two that we would be offended if we even knew what they meant. But there are a couple of words that you say that or are considered okay over in your side of the pond that are just not okay to say out loud here in the United States.
Until I arrive and do it anyway and then get shanked.
Oh, I'm worried about that. I am worried for you.
It's fine. I'm sure you'll put on your cop hat and glasses and people will then run away. It's fine. You'll protect me. It's all good.
Oh, I'm telling you, like you use the C word so many times, and I get nervous every time you do. Every time you do. You even put it on a thumbnail at one point.
Did not. That was not me. That was not me. That was Connor, our designer. That was his idea. I just approved it.
You approved it.
I approved it.
I
you approved it as well. You didn't say anything. You didn't say shit. You thought it was fine as well. But yeah, that wasn't my idea, though.
That's being polite.
Because you're polite.
I'm polite.
Stupid.
I would never say that word in public here in the United States. I don't
give yourself some time.
There's just something in me that is such a visceral feeling that happens that you cannot say that here.
I don't know why it bothers
just
people so
much.
much.
Okay.
Why not?
There are certain words here that are just not okay to say. And we refer to them by using the first letter of the word. The C
like
word.
Those words. They're my favorite words.
The N word.
Ones that
the F word.
That's a bit different, but you know that's a topic for another day, perhaps. Because that's a bit of a different category, I think, that word. But yeah, the F word as well. Really?
Yeah.
Fuck. Really?
No, fag.
Oh, that one. Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Which kind of goes along the lines of the N word, where you can only really use it jokingly amongst your peers that are of the same origin.
Yes, which ironically is also racist.
Yes.
To say that only a certain race can say a word is in itself racist, which is hilarious. I love the hilarity of the topic, but there we go. That's life. Whatever. Moving on.
You're going to talk me in circles during this episode. I know you are. It's going to piss me off. What makes saying the C word so okay?
Because it's funny. Because it makes people
so funny about it?
It's a term of endearment as well. It is a term of endearment. Have you seen The Gentleman? No, is it Gentleman? Yeah, I think it's Gentleman, the film.
No.
We're going to watch it because it's got some good lines in there and stuff. So we'll watch that together. It's a cracking film. But yeah, it is a term of endearment. Quite often when I say it, I'm saying it because I like you. You know, I'm fond of you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it comes from. So,
well, you must be very fond of me because you've called me that a couple of times already.
True.
You've called me a lot of things. Well, because you rub off on me, which is really horrible.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for you to call me up saying, so I was called a work colleague the C word, and, and they weren't happy because I would laugh so much. I was like, yes, it's a good day.
I just can't get over that gut feeling that you're saying something wrong.
But it's
Like,
not
it's
wrong. This is the
just-
thing, right? So this is where I come from. I don't understand why words have been created and labeled as bad words, because every word is a creation, right? Who the
Right.
fuck came up with a word and then said, "Oh, this is a bad word," or did someone else label it as a bad word? Because here's the thing: it's just words. Words are words. That's it. There's nothing different between any word. They're all just words. But when you label
Mhm.
something as a bad word and say you're no longer allowed to say it, people then want to say it, and we wouldn't have
No,
this
you
issue.
want to say it.
Oh, yeah, but
Just
so many people
you.
are the same, especially with kids as well. Kids you'll grow up not allowed to say these bad words because they're told this is adult words and stuff, and it's very naughty to say them, and so they then want to start saying them, with their friendships groups and stuff because it's naughty. And that's exciting. Kids like doing naughty things because it's rebellious. So don't create the fucking words and say it's naughty and you won't have a problem. It's the same with racist remarks. Don't create stuff that is deemed as racist and you won't have an issue with people being, with racial remarks. Why label it as something that's racist? Because then people are just going to use it for that reason. Just don't categorize it as that. You won't have a fucking problem. If you didn't have a word that only certain people can say, there wouldn't be a fascination with saying the word. Because it would be like any other word. And it wouldn't matter.
I call you an asshole. Do you take that as a negative thing, or do you take that automatically as a term of endearment?
Oh, yeah, I'm an asshole.
Maybe this is the wrong audience to have this conversation with.
Because the thing is, I just don't get offended by stuff. I just don't. It doesn't matter. Like, to me, it doesn't matter.
What are some offensive words to call somebody in the UK? Because the C word is definitely not considered offensive there. It's just like saying, dude, hey.
It can be
friend.
used in an offensive way. But quite often,
It's
again,
tone.
amongst friends, you just don't. But here's the thing: like, there is a comedian who's, I think, Swedish, that has a very interesting skit around the word shit. And it has lots and lots of different uses depending on the context in which you use it. You can say that something is shit, or you can say this is the shit. It means two very, very different things. And there's loads of examples of that. Loads of examples.
George Carlin had a whole skit on that as well, about the American language and how we use it, especially words that are deemed naughty. But it's still, in today's society here in the United States, very frowned upon to say those words. And the fact that people in the UK seem so openly okay with it, because it's not just you. Like,
It's not.
no.
And it's even more so in Australia. It is part of their day-to-day language, is how they say good morning.
Yeah.
Again, it's a term of endearment. When you say g'day, it's not, you're not saying something horrible. You're not being nasty.
Do you find yourself censoring yourself when you are in the US in that respect when talking to other people?
Yes, I know. Again, I know my audience. I know what I can say and what I can't say around certain people. I think I am quite good at that. What I would often do is push the boundaries a little bit. You'll quite often see me just tiptoe over the line a little bit as well and test the waters because it's funny. But I won't go massively over the line around people that are going to be bothered by stuff. You'll see this with me when I'm around people for the first time. I'm quite often more quiet. I'm more reserved because I'm trying to find out where people's sense of humor is and what they tolerate. And then that's when I'll go to their level and then just tiptoe over their boundary and test the waters.
I do that at work all the time.
Yes.
If they pick up on it, if they giggle at could be a naughty joke, then I know where they stand.
The
so
sort
I get
of people
that.
you have, yeah.
Right. But I am so white American that there's no way in hell I would even dare try that in the UK, even though it's okay. Because I will say it in such a white English way, or American way rather, that it would get me in a lot of trouble. That's where your safety comes, where you have to save me. No, it's okay. He's from Florida. He's good.
He's a Yank. Forgive him. But going back to the word Yank, why do you find that offensive when you have the Yankees as a team? So why does the word Yank bother people?
I think when it comes from people from the UK, when you say it, it is considered offensive. There's also the idea of the South, the North versus the South, and they called them the Yankees, the North. It was more of a... It's more... because they were fighting, and they would call them Yanks.
So what's the South? The natives? What's going on?
I have no idea. I have no idea. The slaves? I have no idea.
That's a different continent, mate.
No, but it was very... years ago, it was very unheard of for someone in the South, like Georgia, to date someone from New York. It wasn't their kind. And we're not even talking different skin color. We are talking about just your orientation of where you grew up. Which it just blows my mind that we have progressed to the point where now biracial couples are more accepted. And international couples are more accepted than back then. But there still is that... There's still that internal historical clock in our head that says it's wrong. We all know that owning slaves are wrong, right? But...
I kid. I joke.
But however, the people that clean my house, 99% of the people who do that labor, or that style of labor, are not white American. They're just not. And that just feeds into the stereotype more. Every person who I've ever hired, in a sense, yeah, we do.
Yeah, I mean, yes, you pay for it, but it's just modernized slavery.
Well, they quote unquote paid them too.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's
poorly,
never different.
Unfairly. I totally get that. But...
it's just a modernized way of doing it. But yeah, to say that we don't have it's different now, I suppose. But we do still have.
Yeah, but you slap lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig.
Yeah,
let's be realistic.
Yeah,
which is why when you say words like fag overseas, you're offending at least 20% of the popularity, here in the US.
Well, interestingly
enough, so what do you call
gay
people in UK?
Gay.
There has to be other words.
There is, yeah.
Because we call people gay here, gay, homosexual.
Yeah, homosexuals.
But what's the? I have a feeling I know some of these. What are the derogatory terms for gay men?
Yeah, so fag would be a derogatory term.
So you use that as well.
I
in the
don't,
UK as a derogatory.
No,
not you personally. Like we're gonna take you out of this.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna be
you're more of a comedian
in a minute.
And yeah.
I mean, I guess yes, those words are probably used. But yeah, whereas my usage of these words is not to attack people. It's not to use it for the people that you'd think it's referring to. It's just because the word itself is taboo, and therefore makes it quite funny to use in other contexts.
Mm-hmm.
So all it is using the word, but in other contexts, not just as an attack, not to label. It's just to use for something that's funny. But interestingly enough, though, the word fag itself in the UK means cigarette.
Does it still, or is that considered an old term that nobody uses anymore?
It may not be used all that much these days, but especially when I was growing up, it's like, I need to get my fags. Need to smoke a fag. So yeah,
So, and for me, it'd be going out to the club. I got to hang with my fags.
Yeah, this is a bit different. Yeah, but it's the same with the word gay. I mean, that originated as to mean something that you're happy. You're happy and gay. And then point in time
Christmas
that meant
song.
you're choking on cock, but whatever. To each their own.
Same thing with sucking on a fag.
Yeah,
same difference. But I'm really curious if fudge packer is a thing over in the UK.
Yeah, that's been used. Or batty as well. That's another one.
See, that's one I've never heard of before.
There you go.
So where's that come from?
It just means you take up the batty.
And that
you're a batty boy. Yeah, you're a batty boy. Yeah, ass boy. Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you use batty in any other circumstance, or is that just it's been reserved for the gays?
Yeah, I guess it's not really a term that's used much these days. That was definitely more during my high school era, where you would hear that more commonly. Mm-hmm. Can't say I've heard that in quite a while, to be fair. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's still used by people. I may be resurfacing old names and labels. The youth of the day might go, "That's funny. I'm going to use that going forwards."
Growing up in high school, were you a bully or homophobic?
I wasn't a bully or homophobic. I've never worried about anything. I never cared. So yeah, I didn't bully anyone. I didn't really get bullied either, to be honest. I just sort of kept my head down. Yeah.
Really?
I wasn't all that funny.
Of friends?
Yeah, I had a group of friends. Yeah.
Did you say you weren't all that funny? Is that what you said?
No, okay. I didn't come into my funny era until college.
This is what you're calling this, your funny era?
Yeah.
My goodness.
A lot of what you see now is...
So we're being delusional here on the podcast today. Got it.
Bastard.
We're learning, yeah. I thought we were supposed to be honest here.
Puff.
Yes, I've heard that. Is that still commonly used, or is that more of an 80s thing?
I think probably more of an 80s thing. I'd say I've heard that more in films and TV than I have.
I've heard that on TV. That's where I know it from. It would be 80s sitcoms from the UK.
Yeah.
So that's where I've learned that word, and I didn't know if it just carried out.
To be honest, the word that I hear the most is gay. And things just get described as gay. Especially electric cars. This is an interesting trend currently. If you like electric cars, if you own an electric car, you are gay.
When I was in high school in the 90s here, that word was definitely used the same way. Is that still happen over there?
I think so.
Like, you are that behind?
I guess so. Yeah.
Because, like, I remember people saying, "Oh my God, that's so gay. Don't do that, that's gay." Yeah. And it wouldn't be something that even would have anything to do with, that could be traced back to homosexuality. It's not like, don't eat... Funny.
This is what makes it so
that used to offend me in high school a lot. That offended me in high school a lot because I was just coming out, and they would use it in a way that it just meant wrong. That's just wrong. You could substitute gay for wrong in 99% of the way they would use the word. And I would be like, I'm wrong. Like, don't do that. Don't label me that. Now labels just really don't mean anything to me anymore. It amuses me that labels are such a big deal for certain people. You know, the idea that I have been asked multiple times, so what does your wife do? Are you married? What does she do? And depending on my situation, I don't even bother correcting them. What's the point? I'm not there to, like, change your viewpoint on anything. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter, you know, what you think. when it comes to my choices in life. I
Exactly.
do tell people like my kids are adopted because I think that explains a lot more, or sometimes it gets me a little more sympathy.
Gay. You see what I mean? It doesn't mean anything. It just means fuck all.
Right.
But it's funny.
Right. And when it comes down to gender at this point, I don't give a shit what your gender is and what you want to be called, and this gets me into a lot of trouble in my community because people are talking about putting their preferred pronouns on things like name tags or how you sign a corporate email. What is the point? I will never have to refer to you in any way other than the name that you want me to call you. Like the name, the proper noun of the name. I will call you Matthew. Like, I would never be like, hey, guy. You know? And words like dude and guys in general is such a non-descriptive word for me. I say it all the time when I'm talking to a group of people. It could be he, she's, they's, it's, whatever. The mix in front of me, I will say, hey guys, we're going this way. And there are people out there that get offended by those words.
It's just a generic term. It's all it is. When you say guys, it's a generic term. It means nothing. But yeah, it's annoying. It is annoying because this is the thing that pisses me off, is we're having to change, language, the way we speak, the way we're brought up to speak, and the terms and words that we use to keep someone who's mentally ill happy. It's just wild. They've got to just let go. Again, be who you want to be. Whatever. Do what you want to do. No one has to give a shit. Just be you. Don't have to broadcast it. People don't have to bend over backwards to suit it.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. Otherwise I'm going to go around and say you got to call me a fucking god. Otherwise I'm going to be offended. How ludicrous is that? Or I'm going to rock up to America and be like, I identify as an American, give me a fucking green card. Because in America I could go to court over that and win. Because you can't say otherwise.
Sad but true.
It's stupid. It's just so pathetic. And that's the thing. If you want to put your fucking pronouns on a name badge, all you're doing is telling the world that you are mentally ill and you have a problem and you should be in a psychiatric ward getting serious help.
All right, that is a little extreme, but okay. Come on, you have to admit that's just a little. Yes.
Maybe a smidge. But it is ridiculous because I see it a lot on emails, and it does irritate me because I don't give a shit. I don't care. I'm not going to read that and then adhere to it.
So when does that even matter in life? Like, even when they say, "Well, you're not paying my bills, so why does?" Even if you were paying my bills, it does not matter. It's the person and the personality. Or the personality more than it is the person in that respect. Like, if you are a vain asshole who only cares about what somebody looks like on the outside, then I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about you as a person. It does not matter to me that, you look a certain way. It's the personality. If I'm going to care about you and your well-being, right? Because as I've said countless times here, that you are that person who, it doesn't matter if you're a boy, you consider yourself male, female, whatever, I'm still going to have the same love and respect for you because of the person and the personality that you are. Now, when that changes, that will change when we cross the threshold into the bedroom. That is the only time I think that would change.
Mm.
Does that mean you look confused for a second there?
Yeah, yeah. I may have switched off halfway through your conversation. I don't know. There's got to be when you said
you can't take a compliment. That's when you came back into the. You're like, yes. Huh?
That's when I returned to the conversation. That's what we're talking about.
No, it's not until the relationship turns into a physical relationship
Right, I'm with you. Yeah, that
where
it
where
matters.
it matters
Yeah,
what what you are
yeah. And at that
or what
point,
you
it's very
consider
personal.
yourself.
You know,
Right.
it's very personal. It's
Right.
behind closed doors. But I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get why certain people broadcast what they are and then expect the world to bend over backwards. And the dangerous thing as well with it is we're now teaching children to not accept who they are, to question who they are, which I think is very, very dangerous. You know,
Mm-hmm.
because children don't understand what's right and what's wrong. All they're seeing at the moment or being taught is to ask yourself if you are normal and if you're in the right body. And if not, you can change yourself and mutilate your body at a young age. You know, and then perhaps quite often regret that decision later in life because they were forced to do so by our teachers, by our
Yeah.
educators. It's very, very dangerous. But the thing is, we're becoming more and more accommodating for these sensitive people rather than giving them the actual support and you know sort of nurturing they need. But when they hit the real world, they're going to struggle because the real world is not going to bend over backwards. Employers are not going to bend over backwards for you. They just
Mm-hmm.
aren't. A business is there to make money, and they will hire the best people to help grow that business. They're not going to be holding your hand and helping you all these sensitive little subjects and stuff. And every time something happens, you might have a little breakdown. Fuck that. Go elsewhere because it's not going to work. It does not work in society. And this is where it's dangerous. I think people need to sort of get a bit of a thicker skin, really, and get
Mm-hmm.
on with it. Again, be whoever you want to be, but stop expecting the world to give you favors. You've got to battle for it like
And
everybody else.
this is one of the number one lessons that I want to teach my children, that no matter what decision you decide to make, whether it is to change your gender, to who you're going to date, to leaving a job, to saying something, putting something on social media, whatever it is that you have to make a decision on in life, you need to look at both the pros and the cons, and are you willing to face both the good and bad consequences? There are consequences that are you are going to get hit with the positive and the negative, and then you're going to get hit with people like you who just doesn't give a shit, and you're sitting there going, shouldn't you care? Why don't you care? You know, like they're expecting
Okay.
a reaction.
Yeah.
So
You give a fuck.
I have two children. One happens to be a heterosexual male. I have another one who's transgender, from male to female. And the conversation really was, I want you to picture yourself during this transition and what other people are going to say and think, good, bad, and indifferent, and can you handle it? Because if you can't handle it, then you are not ready for that to make that decision for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and they are currently in the transitioning process, and they are working on it, and they are realizing that people have feelings that they don't agree with. And, you know, that's when you have to worry that the most positive thing that can happen to them right now is someone calling them a cunt, because that's a female term of endearment to you.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing to go through with the transition, and I don't know if I mentioned this before. I may have mentioned it to you, you know, separately and privately. But my mum, for example, was never a girly girl. You know, she wasn't into
Mm-hmm.
makeup and all that sort of gay shit as she was young. But you know, she was playing football with the lads. You know, and she's very good at it. But at no point in her life has she ever thought, "Oh, I have been born into the wrong body. I want to
Mm-hmm.
change to become a guy." You know, she's just always been a bit more of a masculine type of woman, which is perfectly fine. You know, she's always accepted who she is. And that's always the question. Then again, if you want to transition, fine, you do whatever you want to do. But the thing that I'm curious about is what's stopping you from living your life in the body you were born in? What is it that you're missing that is then making you want to transition? What does that open up for you? You know, if you change your gender,
And I don't think we could ever understand that
it's very difficult. Yeah,
because we are not in that situation.
no, no. But it's also, I think, very difficult for the people that are in that situation to articulate that. And this is where there's danger, because it becomes this new social norm of others are doing it, so you feel that is what you're supposed to do. But maybe it's not always what you're supposed to do.
It makes you wonder, as we grow as a society and how we, like I have said before, coming out as gay is now the new coming out as trans.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
And I've told you that, I believe, before, that it's, the heartache and the anti, the group of people that, the negativity that you face and the words that people use to you and the hatred from the people, it's more accepting now to be gay because they have another thing to fight. It's people in the right restroom. It doesn't matter now. It doesn't matter anymore that a gay man might be peeing next to you in a men's room. It matters now if someone who is transitioning is in the bathroom with you.
Yeah, trying to flap their vagina against the standing up urinal. Yeah, it doesn't quite work, But yeah.
I'm dying to see UK bathrooms, by the way.
Okay.
Just side note, we're all over. Like we are no longer on topic. We've already bypassed that. I want to see, because I have read somewhere that your bathrooms are different than ours here in the form of privacy.
Yes. Oh my fucking God, fucking Allah on bread. I hate bathrooms in the US. I fucking hate it because it's got the biggest gap in the world. To the point that saggy fucking nuts.
It's one of those. Hello.
Yeah, it is. You get tall people going, "Oh, there's pee-pee." Oh, that looking at you. You got fucking massive gaps as well in between the door on the side.
Yes,
so you can see someone fucking frying out their ass, having the shit of their life. I don't understand it. I hate it to the point that if I ever design a building, for whatever reason, if I'm building an office or building some sort of public space that people come to, what I want is bathrooms within bathrooms. So you have the bathroom that you go into, that you then have a nice row of sinks and stuff, but then you have
unisex bathrooms.
Yeah, I think but then you have fully enclosed cubicles where it's soundproof, so you don't hear someone shitting out a curry they had the night before. It's something that's nice and silent. There's not gaps underneath and whatnot. And if you want to go a bit more posher, you then have your own separate sink in the same cubicle. I quite like that sometimes when you're in like airport lounges that have, like the first class lounge and stuff. They have then the toilet and your own sink with towels, proper little proper towels, not the paper towels, the proper doodads. Yeah. It's all very private and it's very quiet.
Okay, we're gonna design the bathroom because you saying that made me think of something. Because I used to go to clubs in New York that had unisex bathrooms, and it was just very interesting. But I was just in my head mentally going through the process of having the shit of my life, as you put it. And after I am done doing what I am... Yeah, no. After I am done doing what I'm doing, what I figured,
Fingered?
Well, I'm fingering the fucking door handle after wiping my ass. Think about it. How dirty is that door handle that you have to unlock and pull on? You haven't washed your hands yet.
That's why the sink should be part of the...
Yes. That I completely agree with that.
The same in houses as well, because I quite like it when you have a separate room for the shitter in your bathroom, so people can come in and still use the bathroom even though you're taking a shit, but it's closed off area. And I quite like it where you get a little mini sink in the toilet area, and then you have your normal big mirror.
That's just a bathroom.
Yeah.
Why would you want that in your house? How many people are going to be in your house sharing that bathroom? If you've got a
partner, it means your partner can still go and use the vanity mirror and not have to smell the fucking AIDS that's coming out of your asshole. It's a nice thing.
Fucking cunt. I can't believe you.
Oh dear. I get a feeling
Oh,
YouTube might not be very happy with this podcast.
I think you
fuck
might
'em.
be right.
Feed 'em rice.
We'll find out.
If they ban this, they're gay. It's as simple as that.
See, being a gay man, I endorse this message.
Brilliant. And on that note,
Yes.
we'll call it a day there.
Yes.
This one has been spicy, but yeah, this one goes out to all you gays out there.
And the
Enjoyed.
cunts. And the cunts. Do not
Especially
forget them.
those.
I don't want them to get annoyed and feel left out.
Yes.
They need to be a part of this.
And if you're a gay cunt, then I love you straight away.
Woo!
No homo. Bye for now.
Bye.